On today's Into Your Head number 749, Sháinne Greoige returns with her thing, and then there's me for 25 minutes as filler for the rest of the show. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Hello.
Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Monkey nuts, into your head. Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Big steaming piles of monkey nuts into your head.
We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this crushed can of what's it called? Evolve energy drink from the very cheap deal store. I believe it was 4 cans for €1.49. Everything's €1.49 in that store, except it isn't, because you go in and you say, oh, that thing must be €1.49 exactly, because that's the price of everything in this store. But then you look closely, it says, you get 2 of these for $1.49, and you get 4 of these for $1.49. And it's not as simple as or as dry cut or as clear. What's it called? Clear cut. That's what they call it. It's not as clear cut as all that. As if clear cut is a good thing. I often clear cut my face when I'm shaving. I make a clean cut down right down my face. I slash myself to bits with a lovely clear cut. I don't consider it a good thing. I think a dry cut would be a lot better. One where there's no blood at all involved, and it's just maybe it's just a permanent scar. Take that back. Maybe that's just as bad or even worse than a clear cut. Well, no, in terms of prices, a clear cut thing would be if everything was $1.49 per unit, but it's not. It's $1.49 per different numbers of units. I suppose you could claim that they're saying that 4 cans of this energy drink is a unit, but it's not. It is not. And for another thing, that's going to cause extra confusion when you look up the drink driving regulations and you see that a unit is considered a certain number of milligrams of alcohol, and that's nothing to do with energy drinks or pricing at all. That's the problem with units. If you start calling everything units, you realise there's different types of units for different things and measuring different things. That's why you have to come up with something else other than a unit. A unit is a cop-out word. It's what you use when you don't know what the unit of measurement is. You say, how many units of nuclear fission are there coming out of that place in Japan at the moment? If I were to go swimming off the coast of Southern California, for example, how many units of 3-headed fish genes would I find swimming up my trouser leg? Assuming I wore trousers, which I think I would if there was a worry about nuclear stuff in the sea. I think I'd at least wear trousers, although that would be the least of my worries since I can't swim. But no. Anyway, 2 nuclear-resistant trousers walk into a bar. One of the nuclear-resistant trousers goes straight up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your finest Evolve energy drink, please?" And the man behind the bar says, "Oh, we don't sell that crap in here, sir. It's all proper known brand name energy drinks in here. We sell the likes of Red Bull and the likes of Monster Energy and the likes of coffee. Have you ever heard of coffee? That's an energy drink too, you know, sir. There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned pint of coffee. Maybe have an Irish coffee. It'll put you to sleep and give you energy to stay awake at the same time. That's what you want. I know what you people want. I'm a bar publican technician in here. I'm an expert in this sort of thing. Don't come in here like some fella who goes into the doctor and tells the doctor what to prescribe him because he's looked it up on the internet. No, leave stuff to the experts. Come in here and tell me what you want, what need you need to have fulfilled, and I'll recommend a drink for you. That's how it works in here. And whatever I said had walked into the bar was nuclear resistant trousers. The nuclear resistant trouser says, "Oh, I see now. That makes perfect sense. Well, sir, what I'd like is to have my need for energy and my thirst both quenched and dealt with by whatever can you give me anything for that, sir, without a prescription? And the barman says, well, I can do it without a prescription, but I can also write you a prescription for it, and then dispense that prescription item. And the nuclear trouser says, oh, that's great, but what kind of medicine in here would you have that would require a frigging prescription? And the barman says, oh no, it's just a gimmick, although maybe putchine, you probably need a prescription for that, although it's illegal to sell here. You're allowed to make putchine in this country, but you're only allowed to export it and poison foreigners with it. You're not allowed to sell it here. That's how we roll in this country over here. We roll like that. We go, there's an opportunity to make money by poisoning foreigners. Let's do it. That's not a song. Bees do it. Some things do it. Even educated, some things do it. Let's do it. Let's make some money out of foreigners. I may have altered the lyrics somewhat there. I don't remember the original lyrics. I think it was, let's do it, let's fall in love. I don't know. And I don't know how you'd make that relevant to a thing about putchine. Do you foreigners even know what putchine is? You probably do. It's one of those. It's one of those drinks that's basically pure alcohol. You get alcohol basically, and you pour it into a bottle, and then you close the top. And then you come back to it when you want to drink it, and then you open it and you shove it down your neck, and you make damn sure you're sitting down. You can tell you don't want to be standing up when you're drinking putchine. Well, maybe you do, because you'll end up sitting down anyway, I'm sure, falling over or whatever. Probably doesn't really matter. Suppose you could stand up and strap yourself in like they did with Professor Stephen Hawking that time when they sent him up on the you didn't send him up in anything. They sent him into the NASA training center, and they put him in a gravity-free thing. They strapped him to a thing and they spun him around, and they say, this is what it's like to be able to fly, Professor Stephen Hawking. I know you spent your whole life wondering what it would be like to be able to walk again. Well, forget about that, because that's not going to happen. But here's a flying experience for you. Here's something you'll remember for the rest of your life. You spend all your waking hours thinking about her, because you're like Data on Star Trek. You don't go to sleep at night. You just sit there thinking. As far as we know, anyway, we've no way of knowing what you're thinking. How would we know what you're thinking without invading your privacy? I don't know. Once upon a time, there was a dog, or un chien, as we've established recently, is the French for, I know it was established by others long ago, but that doesn't mean we all knew about it. I think I did know. I just re-established it in my mind. I hadn't really thought about the French language much since I stopped learning it around age 17 or 18 when I left school. So you had to re-establish the fact in my mind. They were still there, obviously. Came back to mind, but you re-establish your neural pathways and make the information a more permanent and easily accessible piece of nugget of information in your brain by thinking about it. I believe that's how it happens anyway. You think about it more, and you re-memorize it, and you re-establish stronger neural pathways. Isn't that how the brain works? Something like that. They figured out how the brain works quite some time ago. Contrary to popular belief, we know how the brain works. It's just a thing that you can't switch off, and you put food into it, and you let oxygen flow into it non-stop, and then all you have to do is breathe and think. You breathe with your, you think about breathing, and then you breathe, and the breath goes straight up into your brain. It's carried in blood cells or something, and it goes round your brain, and your brain says, oh look, there's some oxygen, I can use that. And then it realizes it's used up all the oxygen by thinking about the fact that there's oxygen coming. The brain has a lot in common with the human beings, more than you might think. Us human beings, when we're lying awake in bed at night, and we suddenly think, oh, I have to breathe every fucking second for the rest of my life. I'm thinking about it now. I'm fucking obsessed with my breathing now, and I'm concentrating on every breath. Well, the brain brain thinks the same thing, except even worse. The brain thinks, I'm going to die unless I continue to get oxygen in here every millisecond and every day forever. And now I'm wasting oxygen by thinking about that fact and thinking about the oxygen as it comes in, and then I need more oxygen. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a brain? It would be a miserable experience. I'm glad I'm not a brain. I'm glad I have one, but I'm glad I'm not a brain. I'm glad I'm more than my brain. As far as I know anyway, I'm more than my brain and my body. And my feet are part of me. I'm not just up there in the bit above my neck. No, my feet are part of me. My knees are part of me. My mouth here is part of me. I'm not frigging, there's not some ventriloquist operating me here. No. Although you could argue that your brain is a ventriloquist that uses your body as a puppet. You could argue that, but it sounds fucking ridiculous the moment it comes out of your mouth. So don't argue that. Don't argue stuff that makes you sound stupid. If something sounds stupid as it's coming out of your mouth, then there's a 99.9999999% chance that it's bullshit. And if the chances are that high, then you might as well just assume it's 100% or treat it as if it's 100%. It's not worth the risk. It's just not. Anyway, as I say, once upon a time there was a dog, or un chien, just the one of them. There was just one chien, just one, not in the whole world, but this story isn't set in the whole world. It's set in a small area. It's not even a microcosm of the whole world. It's just a small part of the world. Don't get confused there. If this story was set in an area, a little village that was in the story a fictional microcosm of the whole world, then it would be different. There would probably have a good few dogs then. It would have a proportional number of dogs based on the in the ratio to whatever the population of humans was in the area. But no, anyway, once upon a time there was a dog, and the dog was just being a dog, as dogs do. Dogs just be dogs. They don't have to put any effort into it. They just are dogs. One day they're not dogs, and then the next day they're puked out of their mother's backside and they're on the ground, blind as a bat. Dogs are blind as a bat, except when they're born, except without the advantage of sonar equipment that helps them get around us. So dogs are blind. They're sitting there rolling on the floor going, what in the name of Christ am I now? 10 minutes ago I was Queen Victoria's butler in England in the 1600s, which is awesome. Should she not live in the 18 or 1900s? I think it was the 1800s. But no, I was Queen Victoria's butler. Well, soon to be butler, I presume. Maybe he was very old and he lived, I don't know. Whatever, anyway. Anyway, now I seem to be a blind thing that's just falling onto the floor. I feel like a dog, to be perfectly honest, which is a bit unfair since I was a teetotaler in my previous life. So now I feel as sick as a dog. Or maybe I just feel like a dog. Is this how a dog normally feels when it's perfectly healthy and it's not sick? If it is, then fucking hell. The sooner I get this life over and done with and I get on to the next reincarnation, then the better. If this is what being a dog feels like all that, that's what I must be. I must be a dog, because dogs are born blind. Either that or I'm a bat, in which case, where's my fucking sonar equipment? I'm either a bat or a dog, and if I'm a bat, I better damn well be getting sonar equipment, because that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind a life as a bat, to be perfectly honest. It's like a mouse with wings, and you can freak people out if you're a bat. But no, don't want to be a dog. Are you listening, powers that be? I don't want to be a dog. I don't think I deserve to be a dog either. I think give the dog job to someone who's somebody who's okay with being a dog. So we don't have a bit of fairness here and a bit of putting people into roles that they're best suited for and roles that they'll be happy in. Don't just throw someone into a dog's life for no reason. That's like if you're operating a McDonalds and someone comes in and you say, you can work putting the mayo on the burgers. You can do that, even though you've for the whole 10 years of your childhood you had a dream about wanting to wipe tables. But no, he won't ask you what your skills are or what your interests are or what you'd like to do. We'll just put support you wherever you're needed. Exactly like that. But surely to Christ, whoever's the equivalent of the McDonalds manager in charge of the reincarnation system, surely to Christ you could be a bit more choosy and analyse what people are suited to be. Is that not the point, surely? If that's not the point, then I don't know what is. Would you probably explain why I've been reincarnated again, because I haven't figured out what the point is yet. I don't know why they can't just tell us what the secret and the meaning of life is instead of keep sending us back to figure it out for ourselves. There's more to life than learning, you know. At least I hope there is. Maybe there isn't. Maybe that's the point. If I figured out the secret, powers that be, hello, they can cancel this dog's life for me. I've just figured out the secret of life. It's whatever I just said a minute ago. Whatever I just said is, that's the meaning of life. And if that's the case, if I'm right, you can take me back now and put me somewhere. Put me wherever you go when you learned all there is to learn. Presumably you become a doctor of what you call it, a doctor of life, I suppose. I don't know. Then what? I don't know. Maybe you become the manager of the aforementioned McDonalds of reincarnation, and you're put in charge of all this crap, which, to be perfectly honest, sounds like hell to me. So maybe I'm being sent to hell. I'm being sent to hell just for having the nerve to figure out the meaning of life. Jesus Christ, this place is fucked up. And then the dog finds the nipple. The dog finds the nipple, and then it forgets everything it's been thinking about. It just carries on life as a dog for another 15 years. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Hello.
I'm Sháinne Greoige, and this is my occasional look at what's happening under the sheets of your newspapers this morning. This bulletin is sponsored by Lidl. Visit your local discount supermarket next Wednesday or Thursday to claim your free trolley rental. Terms and conditions apply and include a non-refundable €1 deposit. Theft will be frowned upon. Excludes all Lidl stores. The Sunday Business Post reports that Ireland's fire service is to be privatised, as mandated by the conditions of the recent EU bailout. Meters will be installed at every home and business in the country by 2016. However, competitors will be allowed to enter the market, and customers will be able to access substantial discounts for purchasing firefighting services, water and home insurance from the same provider. Celeb news now. And the Irish Independent says Professor Stephen Hawking is to become the first quadriplegic to experience independent belching. Okay, I'm just going to start that one again because I'm sure he's like trying to climb in my mouth and onto the microphone or something. Professor Stephen Hawking is to become the first quadriplegic to experience independent belching. The renowned astrophysicist has been invited by Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic to spend an afternoon in a specially designed training simulator. In the same newspaper, there's a 38-page pull-out supplement about women or cats or something. Music magazine Hot Press leads with an editorial welcoming the decision to fill the 2 remaining vacant X Factor mentor positions with retired High Court judges. Critics have slammed the move, pointing out that it's their job to criticise everything, regardless of whether or not it makes sense. The Herald marks the 20th anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death with a selection of digitally aged mugshots of the Nirvana frontman, who apparently is still being sought by a fictional TV version of the FBI. My husband has been binge-watching Criminal Minds. The Irish Times has announced an end to the practice of publishing open letters to public officials on matters of public interest. The newspaper points out that, contrary to common misconception, the 2p discount on unsealed envelopes and postcards was abolished several years ago, and it sees no benefit for its contributors in continuing to waive their right to privacy. Rupert Murdoch's The Times of London has announced that its print edition is to be moved behind a paywall. Readers will be able to preview the content by reading the front page, which will be displayed on boards outside newsagents, but they will have to purchase the newspaper if they want to read any further. Also, a +1 edition of each newspaper will be available at a reduced rate a day after initial publication. I'm Sháinne Greoige, the voice of the newspapers. Don't forget to join me tonight on the Food Network for a brand new episode of Sháinne Celebrity Chef Shootout. And in my column in tomorrow's Woman's Weekly, I'll reveal why nobody ever thought to name me Sháinne Greoige. But for now, a very good morning to you. Notes for foreigners. Greoige is the Irish for hair, and little is the Irish for this country has turned into a steaming sewer, and I'm applying for a job with Russia Today.
Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, who in the name of Jesus, holy Christ is that? Who's that? Who's that? Oh, that's fine, don't worry. It's just my wife. She's been on episodes of this podcast since it began 8 years ago. That's all. It's just my wife that you fail to recognise yet again. You fail to give her credit just because she's going under a pseudonym. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Recognise my wife, you cunts. I've been here long enough. I've been a fixture on the internet for a third of my life now, so have a bit of respect, a bit of goddamn fucking respect, as they say. What's the song they used to say? Hold on a minute. R-E-S-P. No, it's not a harmonica song. It's more of a guitar song, isn't it, than a harmonica song? If anything, hold on a minute. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what you mean to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, something. Was it Aretha Franklin? One of them anyway. One of them ones with the, like the Jacksons except women. It was one of them. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what you... This is crap, isn't it? This is absolutely... appalling drivel, if you don't mind me saying so. And why would you? Why would you mind me critiquing my own self and being a bit, being self-critical and having a bit of modesty? There's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. If you've anything against modesty, then go off and be non-modest in your own time and not... I think I'll go back and listen to this and see if it's any good.
You're listening to
the Into Your Head podcast
from Ireland with your humble proprietor, Neal.
Follow Neal at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Hello, podcast fans. Adam Carolla here. I'm leading the fight against patent trolls who are threatening this medium. It's not about me. It's about the podcast you're listening to right now. If I go down, this show could be next. So visit fundanything.com/patent troll for more information on how you can keep podcasting alive.
Into your head.
Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ, Adam fucking Carolla, Adam fucking shit-eating, fucking wanking fucking Carolla on Into Your Head. Fucking ridiculous. Absolute. I never thought I'd see the day. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking, I never thought I'd live to see today. I thought I'd be dead long before he'd ever put that shit on this program. I was hoping to Christ I'd be dead decades before now. Well, you're not dead decades before now. And I would argue that not being dead decades before now is a good thing, unless you were born hundreds of years ago and all of your loved ones have since died out. Well, then maybe you might be reasonably longing for death. Well, that can be arranged, but no, relax. Take a fucking chill pill. Take a chill. Don't take a caffeine pill, whatever you do, because if you're like this before you have your caffeine pill, then Christ knows what you'll turn into. Then you'll probably turn into turned into the monster on the Monster Energy drink cans. Is there a monster on the Monster Energy drink cans? I can't remember. There's a blob thing. I don't know. Never scrutinised it enough to determine whether it's supposed to depict a monster or whether it's just what you call it. It's just a blob. It's just what you call that artwork, that type of painting that's not really a thing. It's just like it's just representative. It's not a real. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. No, not obscure. Abstract. There you go. Maybe there's an abstract monster in the can. I don't know. Couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest. I'm happy with my 4 for 149. What you call it? 4 units. I wonder how many units of energy is in one of these. I don't want to know because I heard it involved looking at the calories, which would be rather depressing. You don't want to look at the calories on the can of something that you like drinking because that'll just depress you. It'll send you into a spiraling depression. You go down and down and down through the spiral, down through Danté's 10 circles of hell, or was it 7? Danté's, I don't know. Danté has a big long epic poem about the 7 levels of hell. The first level of hell is the one at the top, and then you go down and down and down and down and down, and there's more levels, and there's all sorts of crap happening at each level. Do you think the way he wrote about it, do you think he'd been to hell or something? Maybe he had, or maybe he just thought he had, and he was describing some place that wasn't hell at all, and he said, this is hell, which if you live in that place is rather offensive. So he's probably got people coming after it. Very brave of him. Once he wrote that book, it was probably like your man, what's your man, Salman Rushdie. It was probably like him. He probably got death threats and stuff for years after that from the people of hell, or wherever the hell was beset in his book. I don't know. Maybe he said it somewhere fictional. That's probably the best thing to do. Set it somewhere fictional, such as, for example, the real hell. That would be a good fictional place to set it. Anyway, I noticed as the clock ticks away on my screen, it doesn't make a ticking noise. It just counts away. It's just silently counting, just like you silently count sheep in bed. You don't go lying there going, oh, look, there's one sheep. Oh, look, there's another sheep. I add those two together and I get 2 sheep. And there's another sheep now coming over the imaginary fence. I hope it doesn't. It's probably safer to come over for a sheep to jump over an imaginary fence than a real one. Because you watch the show jumping on the television and you see horses every year at the Grand National getting their legs broken on those things. But no, if your imaginary sheep is jumping over an imaginary, although now that you mention it, the imagination is anything that can happen in the imagination. That sheep could jump up over that imaginary fence and land on a landmine and then fucking die from the explosion. So no, I take that back. It's not safe at all. But no, where was I? I don't know. Oh yes, I was watching the clock ticking away. We've done 28 minutes and 14 seconds now. That's enough. Good morning.